peace. I have a perspective from my own personal experience and journey of healing. I realized, besides the multitude of things within my life that have happened just recently, for me to totally disconnect from the things I've been connected to. You can say a generational thing that we're taught through programming in our family and carried on. I had to go through situations with my kids. And yes, I have one son that I've gone through more with than my other ones. It's not saying that anyone's any lesser or more significant. I just think of as an expression like on a karmic level or a bigger test for me, and kind of like in reflection of like how I am and who I was. But I had to face the situation with my son, constantly trying to take his life. And, you mentally, just as an expression of the moment, I believe, after one works on themselves, they can achieve a greater knowing of themselves and or just deal with what they are and accept how they are. But with him trying to take his life, being in a toxic relationship after 5 years of no relationship, and then I'd been in one for like a year, kept that to myself. I learned a lot about myself. I learned issues that I needed to let go of. I learned how to be with people and how not to be. I learned how to disconnect as a mother through that toxic relationship as well. And with my son too, because I needed to disconnect from my son through the toxic relationship. So if I wouldn't have had that toxic relationship, I wouldn't have been able to disconnect as a mom and take my power back too. So like everything works hand in hand, like all these weird blessings in disguise to best express. My son got to a point where he did smash this mirror, but he was trying to hurt himself. So he ended up having 14 stitches and it was pretty traumatic. And then he almost ran over a cop, which it was raining, and they were really nice about it because he did slow down and he went past, but then he ran from them. And then they like chased him down after a few miles and then, had to stop him, put him down, the procedure, pinned him on the ground, put a gun to his head and all that stuff. Get him to the hospital. He's still not clicking into the dangers of what he put himself in and other people in. Before that happened, also the person I was with antagonized him a little bit and made him more angry, which everyone was in their wrong. But my son had these issues he needed to, like weirdly, everything happened for a reason. I called the cops, and they're like, hey, everyone is in the wrong here. And then he went back to a mental behavioral hospital, probably his 4th time in. Then I had to be able to disconnect from him with our dynamic as a mom because I'm a very protective mom and that was all my life was, weirdly. I had to get a hold of his dad, who I hadn't talked to in years, who last time he almost died when he was didn't care for him with his diabetes. Weirdly, his dad was diabetic too, but he's never been a present person. He was the last person, but I felt it was a last resort so I could help my son because what I was doing wasn't helping and I needed a resort. So I get a hold of his dad. I get a plane ticket for him. I send him to California with the intentions of just saying, you know what, stay there. Because my son is somewhat abusive to me, not a victim, but like our dynamic wasn't working. I just want the best for my son. And it was like the hardest thing ever. And this will entail me like disconnecting from him where I took my power back. And my son actually grew from this. His dad didn't show up at the airport to pick him up. Thankfully, he had another half sibling there in California, and his half sibling picked him up, and he stayed for like a month and a half. He needed to come back. Like things happened where we had discussions, and his older half brother helped him. Like he just needed a different environment because in all reality, me and my son were together 24/7, 24/7 since he was young, because he's always got kicked out of school. He's always been suicidal. He's always needed a little extra care. I know my part in it so much, but like, just I'm summing this all up, like how I had to disconnect from the things which empowered both of us. I get my son back. He's doing so much better. We do go to therapy. He's not saying things about like wanting to kill himself anymore. He does have dark thoughts, and so I ended up getting him on some antidepressants, and it's not a fix-all, and it's not for him to keep on saying he has these issues. It's just to help him for the time being, because I don't want him to be codependent on that mindset. But whatever he needs, and I can't control it, so let's try something different, son. Let's just keep on discovering ourselves here. I did, within that, I, released myself from the toxic relationship, but I also grew and got rid of a lot of my insecurities. So like, no regrets. And that person was nice and everything. It was one of those ones where they're nice, and I don't regret, and I have forgiveness, and, we both had our parts to play in it. No one, we all make mistakes and we all grow. There was a lot of growth. Even like, it helped me disconnect from the situation with my son, where I didn't let my son control me as much too. But I also found my power, and like, just because someone's nice doesn't mean you need to be with them either, because he was like too much, but he needed me, and I felt so drained. And he was similar behaviors as my son, weirdly, of neediness. And I understood where he came from in his programming, but I also got actions and words didn't match up. So I just like released myself from it. It was so awesome, because I didn't get tricked in by all the manipulation and everything. But weirdly, now here I am. And then I have a hysterectomy. I got really, really bad sick a lot every time, because the relationship was really toxic. And I realized to learn to trust myself and my gut feelings and how my body feels. But all in all, it's made me disconnect, not in a negative way. Like, I love everybody, and I love my kids, but not holding on so much and let them have their lives. And I'm disconnecting like from a lot of things, and it's like beautiful. And I don't know if this is even a way to even, just as like a really short version of like growing in my power. I also, quit a lot of bad mindset habits. Like, I just, like a free fucking bird right now, I guess. Like, I'm not scared of my kid anymore. I'm having guilt-free parenting. I got through whatever hormonal weird shit was going on with my hysterectomy, whatever spiritual fucking things were fucking with me. I did my best in a relationship when I haven't had one in like 5 years, and they were always toxic anyways. I tried my hardest. I still saw that I needed to get out, and I got out. And we're cool. Like, I'm cool with them. And he didn't like hurt my son. He just antagonized him a little bit, which my son kind of needed what he gave to me, and he got it back, and he wasn't used to a man being around in his life. There's so much more to this. Like, it's not like so simple or narrow-mindedly, like, there's no like delusion on it. There's so much more. This is like summing it up, and it's still pretty long. But in all, I've learned to have more faith, to disconnect my energies, to undo my programming, and kind of like be free. It's like so fucking weird. Like, I'm not intimidated by my son anymore, and that was something. And just a lot of my programming, like, and my issues. I have issues with my mother, like my siblings and my dad and all that. Like, now what I've learned to do is think for myself and be in my power. But I had to go through all that. And I'm just saying, you guys might think of all these things that seem tragic and, just not easy as like a dreadful thing, but they're really a blessing once you get right through them. And you feel those feelings. You go deep, you cry, you get angry, but you never give up on yourself and you only see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's like, whoa. Like, and this is just a short version. I mean, like, a lot of it, goes through childhood. And even watching my friend die whenever I was 17, like, just all the things I'm so grateful for. And I don't have to be attached to titles and this and that. And I get, if I want things, I want them, like, for fun or whatever. Thank you. But I know the things I've endured are like my legacy for me and to teach and show my kids. And my kids are my legacy. It's not having a certain profession or looking a certain way. It's just seeing and knowing that I am good enough and I am worthy. And regardless if I don't have these certain titles or jobs or like financial whatever, like, I have all the abundance, like, so much fucking abundance. It's fucking ridiculous because nothing can fuck with me now. I'm not going to say I ain't going to go through some trials and tribulations, like, because I'm always going to be living, but like, I just want to share, if anyone's going through some hard times, they're getting hit like fucking left and right, like a fucking match, you're that strong and you're never given anything you can't handle. Feel it. Give yourself credit. And you got it. And know it comes from a place of love. And like me, I can say I can guilt-free parent now. I never did. But it's about humility too, and recognizing and humbling yourself down to seeing. Looking at yourself, self-discovery. But whatever more to come, I believe more blessings, whatever way they come. But I don't know. I believe you got it. And knowing all these little things instead of looking on how the outside matrix program is, know you are good enough and know all you've been through is enough, and know each and every day just be in the present moment. Like, these things are meant to try to drag you down, but you don't understand. You can go so fucking deep, but that's as high as you can rise as well.